Wow, this is a good one. It's only 2 minutes long. Listen to Douglas Murray and his analysis, something spectacular. And then we'll share together.
And when I returned to the UK in December, I bumped into a politician friend from Westminster and I was extolling the virtues of the IDF, with whom I've been embedded for much of the last year in Gaza and Lebanon and elsewhere. And she said to me, isn't it remarkable that extraordinary events throw up these extraordinary people? I was singing the praises of the amazing young men and women of the IDF as they battle the death cults of Hamas and Hezbollah. And this politician said to me, it is amazing, isn't it, Douglas, that this young generation has stepped up to the challenge, has answered that question of whether or not their generation is fit for the civilizational challenge. And she said, it's extraordinary the way in which events throw up people. And I said to her, there's a tweak we need to do to that analysis, which is it's not just extraordinary events that throw up extraordinary people. It's extraordinary events when they come up against people who have been extraordinarily well cultured. And what I mean by that is that it's not enough that a civilization or a generation comes across a defining moment. It is that when that happens, you know what you're fighting for. It is that you know you're fighting for your faith, for your family, for your people, for your tradition, for your way of life, and very much more. Clever people can sometimes say very stupid things, and in a recent interview, Yuval Noah Harari, who wrote *Sapiens*, was asked if there was any book that he would recommend that people could read in the present to understand the future that's coming, and he said no, he couldn't think of such a book because change was going to be so incredibly fast. And I said a couple of days later at an event in Jerusalem, that's flat out wrong. Change has always happened. And if you want a book to guide you, how about having the book that guided your forebears?
Wow. How about having the book that guided your forebears? It may not be on the New York Times bestseller list, because it may not be the most, cutting edge, new style, what people would think forward thinking. But maybe that's exactly what we need. We need to look into the past. What is the traditions? What are the faith that we have? And then those teachings to guide us. So the Jewish people and those in Israel, we have the Torah. We have Tanakh. We have the 5 books of Moses. We have the oral tradition, which is in the teachings of the Talmud. Interesting, I'm giving a course on that in JLI right now, which is intriguing. We have such a wealth of teachings, of tradition, of customs, of a Jewish way of life. When we live with that, when we learn it and live it, then whatever comes our way, we're able to deal with those situations. Just started yesterday with chapter 26 in the Tanya. Tanya is part of the oral tradition. It is part of the mystical tradition, chassidic teachings that are about the depths on how we understand what is a soul, what is the purpose of life, what's our relationship to God, what is our supposed enhanced relationship with each other. And they're teaching about how to deal with the challenges of life when God throws a curveball that you weren't expecting, how to deal with that. How do you deal with your own lack of, things that you need to bring healing in your life? How to deal with that appropriately. Folks, I invite you to come to the teachings. I give daily the Tanya, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mondays through Fridays. Also a Kabbalistic, chassidic, mystical teachings, 7:05 a.m. in the mornings, Eastern Standard Time. We also learn the 5 books of Moses, the Torah portion every week with the commentary of Rashi. Join us for that at 8:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we, of course, then also learn Maimonides' teachings. This is what has stood with the Jewish people for the last 3,300 years. This is what makes us eternal, or actually, I would say makes us eternal, but helps express our eternity in day-to-day living, and allows us to deal with an October 7th, allows us to deal with all of the personal things that we have in our lives that are difficult and painful, and how to make our lives not just human, but rise above the human condition and live a divine life the way God created us for, what he needs us for, what he created us for, that each and every one of us is created in the divine image, and we have a piece of God in us that makes us unique, that we need to fulfill God's eternal plan that he has for each and every one of us. And collectively, when we work on that, then there's no doubt that we will bring the final redemption, a world of good, of Mashiach now. Join me. Personal invitation. There's no cost, just your time, your focused, your energy, and your desire to grow, to bring the divine out in you.